Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inshallah, we'll start again. We had some technical difficulties, so I apologize for that. So let's move it to our first slide. So where we renew our intention to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we must remember that we have to have patience and perseverance. Just like many other brothers are showing, Alhamdulillah, they have done this course, probably a couple of years ago, and still they're joining, Alhamdulillah, to learn, and get a good grasp of it. And inshallah, the more you learn and more you get opportunity to teach, it will, make the things more stronger in your head, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So we did this slide, we started before Ramadan, Alhamdulillah. We did, ism, fail, and harf. We said the three kinds of word. And then in terms of ism, we look at the properties of the ism. And there are different clues to find out, point out these different properties: status, number, gender, and type. We learn about some of the charts. We memorize a bunch of words. And as I said many times, memorization is a very key thing, because if you don't memorize those rules and memorize those bunch of words, then you'll always struggle. Okay, because like any other language, we need to memorize, and memorization give us the stock of vocabulary. At the same time, it gives you the strength that so you can read the Quran and understand it. You read the Quran. So it is important to know all the rules first, and also with that you must have a portion of the memorization itself. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to go ahead, inshallah. So today we're going to talk about, we'll do the review first, obviously, and then we started our second fragment, and we're gonna look into some of the examples of that from the Quran, and then inshallah ta'ala we'll touch base on our third fragment. Okay, so we talked about the pronoun, and I hope that all of you had memorized the pronoun and you understand the concept of the independent and attached pronoun. Okay, we said that pronoun can be attached with all three kinds of words. It can be attached with an ism, it could be attached with an harf, it could be attached with an fail. Okay, we have already seen when it get attached with an harf, then attached with a ism, it creates an idafa, meaning that ism belongs to that pronoun. So whatever pronoun it is attached to. For example, kitabuhu, his book. Okay, Baitullahi is like Allah's house, but if you replace the word Allah with a pronoun like Baitullahi, that it is the house, his house. Okay, so anytime a ism has a pronoun attached to it, that creates an idafa, meaning a relationship of belongings. That means that this pronoun belongs to this. Like for example, Rabbana, our Lord. Okay, and we have done many examples of this, and hope that everybody is clear on that concept. Okay, we talked about that, how idafa works. There's three conditions for idafa. The first word must be light, and it cannot have alif lam, and the second word must be in the majrur status or the jar status. Okay, this is our idafa. Then we talked about a subtopic of special mudaf, where most of the things gives the details of time and place, and they usually comes in nasab status because they are giving you the details, but they can be on any other status like in a rafa and also in jar. Okay, and we will see some of them jar today, because we already started the topic of harf of jar. Okay, these are the things, these are the 15 words most commonly used in the Quran, the special mudaf. They are not harf. Okay, they are called zarf. Okay, they have their own meaning, and whenever a word comes after that, it becomes the mudaf ilay. So the first word is a mudaf, is special mudaf. Okay, it's not why they're special, because they are not always necessarily giving you the meaning of or belonging that we just said before, right? It has their own meaning and it translates that way, but they are still mudaf and mudaf ilay. Okay, there are another few bunch of words. Those are like the 5 words. What they do actually, they doesn't always come as a mudaf if they're heavy, but they come as mudaf ile, mudaf if they're light. Okay, and we have seen some of those in this chart here. Kullu, ayu, ba'adu, ghairu, mislu. These are the 5 words. They are also special mudaf when they come as light. If they are heavy, you translate them with their meaning. Okay, and we said we're going to talk bit more about kullu in the coming lessons, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. One thing I'd like to go back and show you today, because we have done, actually, maybe let me show you later. So we talked about this thing here, number 4 and 5 here in this in the point. These ones, they know all the 15 special mudaf, they can be in the jar status. Yes, of course they can be, if there is a harf of jar before that, or is there any other reason for that. Okay. And there are some special cases they can be rafa. We're gonna do some more discussion with number 4 and 5 today, when we look at our harf of jar that we started last week, and we're gonna inshallah try to implement these 4 and 5 rules and try to find something from the Quran similar to that, some examples, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so let's go to our slides. Harf of jar, which we started last week. Okay, we just started after the lessons of special mudaf, and we said what are harf. Harf are the different kinds of harf is in the Quran. Okay, with this lesson, the harf of jar, we'll talk about 11 harf. Okay, harf has no properties like ism. Okay, these harfs makes the word right after it jar. So whenever you see this harf, the word that comes right after it. Okay, and as I said, 99% time it is the right after it. There are some exceptions. We're going to look at them later. Okay, when they do this, we call them jar. The word that getting jar is called majroor. Together, we call it jar majroor. And these are the 11 harf. Okay, start with b, ta, ka, la, wa, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Okay, these are the 11 one, and this is the meaning of each of them. Okay, and we're gonna go through each of them today, because we just started the meaning. And as I said before, obviously you have to memorize this. Okay, because these are harf, and it is everywhere in the Quran. Okay, everywhere, although they are only one letter, kind of, almost like in one letter. Ba, ta, ka, lam, wa. Okay, mean is two letters. Most of them like in 1 or 2 letters, right? But and there looks like preposition in English. Okay, but their uses is very heavy in the Quran, so that's why you need to memorize the meaning. Okay, and one thing we need to remember, that sometime they don't come exactly same way you are looking at the screen now. Sometimes they have an extra fatha or an extra kasra, just to make it sound good. Okay, it doesn't change the meaning, it's just to make it sound good. Like for example, min could be something mina. Okay, so noon can have a fatha instead of a sukun. Okay, an could be ani. Okay, ani. Okay, so the noon could have a kasra. Okay, ala could have an extra ya, alay. Okay, ila same, ila could be ilay. Okay, so that's why we say inna lillahi wa inna ilay, yeah, at the end, ilay. Okay, so just to sound good, this is the extra short vowels, you can say, like fatha, kasra, it's been used, or yeah, extra yeah is been used to make it sound good, but the meaning doesn't change at that time. Okay, and still the effect of the harf of jar, this harf is still valid, doesn't matter the extra fatha or kasra. Okay, so it makes the next word that comes after that must be jar status, must be in jar status. Okay, and if you understand now, that means if you find a harf of jar and then the next word is from a chart, for example, if I say be muslimina. Okay, remember in the chart, the first chart that we learned, Muslim chart, we said the nasab and jar, muslimina is for nasab and jar. Okay, if we go back to the chart, if we see the muslimina, it could be nasab, it could be jar, that's what we said, right? But now if we say be muslimina, you must know that because be is a harf of jar, so muslimina in this example, because it came right after be, it must be jar. Okay, it cannot be nasab anymore. So now we are in the stage that we should be able to know what is a jar and when it is a jar, when it is a nasab. Initially we said muslimina is for nasab and jar. Okay, but now we have other clues that to say that whether it's a nasab and jar. Okay, for example, if I say la muslimatun, okay, la means for. Okay, so for the Muslim women. Okay, again, if the la means for, and la is a harf of jar, so atun or atin, so la muslimatin. Okay, atin could be nasab and jar, but in this case it is jar. Why? Because it just came right after the harf of jar, and harf of jar has the power to make something jar. make something jar. Okay. Some brothers asked about the wa last week, okay, in the Wednesday class also. So wa, as I said, this wa is means I swear by, and we see a lot of them in the juz amma, the last juz of the Quran, and also in the in other places of the Quran, where Allah swears by different creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can only swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can only say wallahi, okay. But in the Quran, because the speech of Allah, Allah can say wal kamari, one wal layli, wal shamsi. Okay, so whatever creation Allah wants to swear by, okay, wal asri. So these are I swear by. There's another wa that means and we're gonna talk about it later, which looks exactly the same, but it doesn't. It's not a harf of jar. That wa doesn't make the next word jar necessarily. Okay, that wa is a wa of and we're going to talk more about wa of and when it time comes, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, but that is not included in this chart. Okay, in this 11 words. Okay, so B is Bismillah, and there's a lot of time B is used. Okay, there is different types of B actually in the Quran, and one type is the harf of jar. There's another one which is harf of jar, but it has some other implication. Okay, and inshallah, when time comes, we'll mention that. Okay, for the timing, B means with or in, like we say Bismillah. Okay, so in the name of Allah. Ta means I swear by, just like wa, but ta has special. Ta is only used with the word Allah. So you'll never find ta in the Quran with anything else. Even with outside of Quran also, ta is a special harf in Arabic that is used with the word Allah. Tallahi means I swear by Allah. Okay. Wa can be used with the word Allah, like wallahi, or wa can be used with anything else. But ta can only used with the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Ka means like. This ka, as I mentioned last week, this is not the same ka that we learned from anta. Okay, anta becomes ka, that is the attached pronoun. Okay, and that comes after the ism or after the harf. Okay, but here it is not that. Okay, so it comes before the word. For example, ka waladin. Ka waladin. So waladin means a boy, and waladin is a jar status. As you can see, din, the last haraka is kasra. So ka waladin means like a boy, like a boy. Okay, so ka here is a not the antaka because it is the before the word. Okay, not after the word. Okay, if we'd have said waladika, if we'd have said instead of ka waladin, if we say waladika, then it would have been mean your boy or your son, because that is the attached pronoun. Okay, you understand the difference? So again, ka waladin means like a boy because the ka came before. It's a harf of jar. That is the attached pronoun. If I say waladika or waladiki or waladikum or waladi kunna, whatever it is, okay, whatever attached pronoun we do, that is the attached pronoun that comes after the word. Okay, I hope this is clear. So ba, ta, ka, we did 3 of them. Let's talk about the la. Now la, there are different options of the la. This one, when the la is used with a the pronoun, like for example lahu. Okay, lahu ma fis samawati wal ard. So many times Allah mentioned this. Okay, or laka. Okay, or lana. Okay, so lahu means for him. Laka means for you. Okay, if we say lana means for us. Okay, so whenever it's this harf had a attached pronoun, the harf instead of li is la. But when the la is not with a pronoun, it's for something else, then it is usually it is li. Okay, like li rasulillahi, for the messenger of Allah. Alhamdulillahi, for Allah. Okay, or lin nasi, okay, for human beings or for the people. Okay, li waladi, for a boy. Okay, for a boy. Okay, so just like that. Okay, and also harf of jar make the next word jar, as we've mentioned, right? But that's the only thing it can do. It doesn't make things light or heavy. So light and heavy depends on something else. Okay, we know by default the words are heavy. That's why if you see the example here, ka waladin, okay, ka waladin is heavy. The waladin is heavy, so it may be heavy for different reasons. Okay, it could be light for different reasons. But harf of jar doesn't make anything light. It just makes the next word a jar word. Okay, now there is another kind of la which we will talk about today. That law is called the law of emphasis, the law of emphasis. Okay, and we find this in a lot of places in the Quran. Okay, for example, if we say wal asr innal insana lafi khusr. Okay, so let's go to Surah Al-Asr just to show you that. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm just going to stop sharing this. Let's share my Quran page. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Where can I see that? Okay, so this is Quran.com. Let's see. If you see here, right? So this is Surah Al-Asr. Can everyone see it? Okay, I hope everyone can see that. Okay, perfect. See, the surah start with Wal Asri. Okay, here the Wal Asri, you can easily see the word Al Asri. Okay, first of all, it's an ism. Okay, Wal Asri is the word Al Asri is an ism. How do you know it's an ism? Can anyone tell me? How I am sure that Al Asri is an ism? Al. Yes. Everybody else understand, Brother Kazi? Do you understand?
Yes, it took Alif Lam.
Yeah, Alif Lam. So anything with Alif Lam is an ism. Remember we told that, okay? Brother Mitu, Brother Hassan, Brother Mahbub, you guys all understand?
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So because anything in the Quran start with an al, it's a dead giveaway, it's a ism. Simple as that, okay? So because, so it's a ism, very good. Now, what is the status of this ism? Al-Asri, it is Jarr, okay? So this wa, even if you don't know the meaning, you should know, okay, this wa is making this Al-Asri Jarr, and wa means I swear by. So Allah is swearing by the time, okay? The passage of the time, wal asri. So here we can see only two words here, wal asri, okay, and I swear by the time, or by the passage time, okay, whatever way you want to translate that, but this is a harf of jarwa, and that's why it's al asri, not al asru or not al asra. That could be a rafa and a nasab for different other reasons, but in this case, because it's after the harf of jar, so wal asri. Okay, very good. Innal insana, we're going to talk about this today. Inna is not a harf of, we haven't talked about inna, we'll talk it. But here, this example, la fi husrin. Okay, I want you to concentrate on this part. La fi husrin. Now, this la, you can see that you can say whether this la could be the la that we know, which is la means for. That's the only la we know. We say there are almost 7 kinds of different laws, according to different grammarians, 7 or 8 kinds of la in the Quran. Okay, different types of la is different types of harf. This la here, as you can see, it comes, and the next word, the attached word with the la is a harf, fi. Fi is one of our harf. Fi means in. And we know that, a harf of jar can have its power only on ism. It can make a ism jar, okay? It cannot make a harf jar because harf has no status. Harf cannot be rafa, nasab, and jar, okay? Only ism can be rafa, nasab, jar. So this la is not means for. This la means emphasis, meaning surely, certainly, okay, indeed, okay, whatever English word you want to use that, okay, something to put more emphasis on that, okay. So innal insana means certainly people, la fi khusrin. Now fi is a harf of jar, we know that, and that's why the word khusrin is jar status. Khusrin means loss, okay, from khasar, okay. Khusrin is loss. So fi khusrin, and the khusrin is heavy, doesn't matter, okay, it is heavy because there's no reason to be light, okay. So fi and khusrin is fine. Fi means in, khusrin means loss, so in loss, and lafi khusrin means certainly in loss, indeed it is in loss, okay. So whatever way, verily it is in loss, okay, whatever English emphatic word you want to use to translate, but you have to understand that Allah is putting a emphasis in there. It is all correct if you'd have said innal insana fi khusrin instead of the la. No problem in that. It's grammatically 100% correct. But by adding a la, Allah is telling us that this is something Allah is putting emphatic. Because you have to remember, the Quran is the speech of Allah. It is not just it's not a book. Okay, it is a book for us now. Okay, it's a kitab for us now because we see it in a book form. But when it revealed, it came as a oral recitation to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, isn't it? And it is the speech of Allah. Allah is talking to us. Okay, so when you talk to someone, when you use the emphatic words, you should know where is the emphasis. Okay, so if I say, I am definitely in the house now. Okay, that means what? Someone has maybe other doubt. Maybe I'm at work now. Maybe I'm in the masjid now. But I'm saying no. Certainly, I'm inside the house. Certainly, so Allah is saying certainly human beings are in loss. So no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Okay, and this la is not a harf of jar. This la is a la of emphasis. Okay, that's what I'm trying to mention here. That sometime you can see. So for today, we learned about two types of la. One la is the harf of jar. That la could be la or li. La when it comes with a pronoun like lahu, laka, lana. Okay, so like this. Okay, or it could be li, like alhamdulillahi. Okay, lir rasuli, lin nasi. Okay, so whatever word you want to use after li. Okay, and there's another type of la, the second type, that is a la of emphasis. And that's always come as la. Most of the time, it always comes as la. There are other types of la and li, and inshallah, we'll talk about it later. Okay. So just to show you this example, and this is a very common surah. I believe all of us memorize this, when you were a kid, right? So, and we use it every time in your prayer because it's a short surah. Okay. So, just remember to show you this example that, la can be the la of harf of jar when it is preceded by a ism. So if we would have said innal insana la husrin, so forget about the fee. If I say la husrin, okay, then it would have been the certainly human being for husr, for loss. Okay, it's not for loss, it's la fi husrin. So fi is the pronoun, fi is the harf of jar, la is the la for emphasis. That is also a harf, but not a harf of jar. The la of emphatic is also a harf, a different type of harf. It's a harf of emphatic, okay, or emphasis, okay. And this is just to give you the pressure of the sentence to understand that there is a emphasis in this word, okay. And this is the example for a quick example for lafi here, okay. Let's go back to our slides, and then inshallah we'll come back to the Quran page again. Let's share the slide screen again. So we talked about bata, ka, and la, and then we also talked about the wa. Wa means, I will ask you can see the same example here, and you can see many surahs in the Juz Amma that has the wa, and even without the Juz Amma, there are surahs where Allah swear by some of His creation, okay, and you can see the word wa here, okay, and as I say, the ta is also a swear by, but ta is only comes with the word Allahi, and the example of tallahi you will find in the Quran in Surah Al-Yusuf. As per my knowledge, in Surah Al-Yusuf, there's 2 or 3 places tallahi is used, and some other places of the Quran which I can recall, maybe in Surah Al-Ma'idah also is one time, okay. But definitely Surah Al-Yusuf has tallahi, okay. Let's go to the next one. These ones, again, harf of jar, mean, fi, and. Mean means from, okay, mean means from. As we are learning the meaning in English, okay, sometimes the meaning is not exactly from, okay, not exactly from. It could be something different, okay. And if you read a translation, different translator has translated, but most cases, and I would say like 95 or 97% cases, means from. Okay, yes, there are some cases, and we will talk about it, inshallah, towards the end of our course.
Brother, sorry to interrupt. This is mine. In this special harf of jar, number 2, ta is also mean I swear by, and then number 5, wa is also I swear by. So how come these two the same meaning?
Because it could have some meaning, no problem, yeah. And at this way, but ta is special, I swear by, that is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay. So and why is I swear by, okay, yeah, they have both same meaning. One word can have many Arabic words, okay. In Arabic, the word for lion, there are 250 words for lion, okay. Abbas, Assad, all these are lions, okay. There's so many words. There are almost 200 words for the meaning of sword. In English we call sword, right? Sword means, the talwar, okay. There are almost 200 words. So yeah, one word can have the same meaning, okay. So no problem, okay. Different words can mean the same thing, okay. So just like that, in Arabic, there's a lot of words, different words, but in English you can translate them only 1 or 2 words, okay. There are almost 10 words for love, Okay, the love that we say LOVE, there are almost 10 words. Okay, so this is that's why Arabic is a rich language. Okay, yes, there are certain times certain words can be used. Okay, but the meaning more or less is the same. Okay, so that's why the tallahi also means I swear by. But as I said, ta you cannot see, you cannot say ta shamsi, I swear by the sun. You cannot say that. That's wrong. The word ta, it can be only used with Allahi. Okay, but the wa can be used with anything else. Okay, wa can be anything used with anything else that you swear by. Okay, brother. Okay, so mean here means from. As I said, most of the time is from, but there are some other meanings of mean as well. And towards the end of the lessons, inshallah, not today, like in future lessons, we're going to talk about those. But the most common use is mean means from. Okay, and sometimes, as I said, mean can have a fatha in the noon, mina. Okay, just like mina samai. Okay, if we say min samai, it doesn't make sense. Okay, and this is just a reading rule. Okay, or to just make it sound good. So min could be mina, but it's still meaning the same. Okay, so mina samai. Fi means in or inside. Okay, and fi means also, it could also mean among. Okay, so fi means in, or fi sometimes it could be mean among means among all of you. Okay, among all of you there's a scholar. Okay, if you say like this, sometimes fi is used for that as well. Fi is also for in or inside. Okay, like fi suduri, in the chest, okay. An means about, we talked about this. And an sometimes can have a kasra with a noon. Okay, again the same reason to make it so, like anis sabili, about the path. Anis sabili, you can see the an here, and anis sabili. Okay, uh, also, let's look at the next one. The ala means on and upon. Okay, ala means on and upon, and ala could have an extra ya here. Sometimes this is pronounced with the alay, with the ya, with the sukun, when it's connected with a pronoun. Otherwise, it's typically pronounced as ala. So what they're saying here, that when it's connected with a pronoun, like if I say alayka, okay, or alaykum, okay, just like we say assalamu alaykum. Okay, upon all of you, peace be upon all of you. Okay, salam on all of you. Okay, so whenever it's used with a pronoun, usually it's used as alay. Okay, it's used as alay with extra. Yeah, other than that, it's normally ala. Okay, hatta is simple, it's until, and hatta means until. It's hatta matla il fajri. Okay, it's another half of that meaning until. Ila, just like ala, when it's attached with a pronoun, it's ilay. Okay, when it's not attached with a pronoun, usually it is ila. And ila means to or towards, like I'm going to market. Okay, I'm going towards the masjid. Okay, so to or towards means ila. So these are the 11th ones, as we see. Sometimes the harf of jar, just like we saw, if you remember the example we did last week, that sometimes two words, two letters can be mushed together, meaning they could be mixed together and give by using a shadda in the Arabic. Okay, and it happens many times. Okay, this is, you can say, a reading rule or a pronunciation rule. So they they don't say each letter. Sometimes they mush the letter each together. Okay, so mix it up with it together, like we said the word innana. Okay, or inna with a noon with a shadda. Okay, so just like that, if we say an plus ma, okay, and we talked about ma before, ma means whatever. Okay, so an means about, ma means whatever. Okay, so an plus ma, they say amma. Okay, it's not anma anymore. So the noon gets drops out. Okay, so some of the word, not all the time. Okay, these are the exceptional cases. So because this an and ma, the Arab decided that an and ma doesn't sound good. Let's say it amma. So they took the noon out and put a shadda on the mim. So amma. Okay, and that's why we say juz amma. Okay, because the first word in Surah An-Naba is amma yatasaalun. Okay, so amma means okay an plus ma. Okay, so sometimes it is a bit hard. It is, and as I said, this is very exceptional cases. Okay, that if we read the word amma, you will never understand. Oh, what is this amma means? Because is it a one word or is it two word and plus is it a harf of jar here? Actually, it is a harf of jar, but because it's just the meme and noon get mixed up together and noon dropped out with a shadda. Okay, so there are some cases it happens like that. Okay, also there's a very common one with min. So min plus ma, again ma is because ma is a special kind of word. Ma means whatever. It could be mimma. mimma razaqnakum yunfikun. Okay, so mimma razaqnakum. So from whatever. So this means about whatever. This means for whatever. Okay, and amma and mimma. Amma is not used that many times in the Quran. Few times only. Mimma has a lot of uses in the Quran. So remember these two. An plus ma is amma. Min plus ma is mimma. So min here is harf of jar, from whatever and whatever. Is that clear, all brothers? Brother Mine, you get this? Okay, all good? Okay, perfect. So what are you trying to say here again? That sometimes, the word noon in the harf of jar in an and min, okay, the noon gets dropped out with a extra shadda, and that gives a different word, amma and mimma. Okay, just to remember that. Okay, now let's look at some of the examples from the Quran to practice of a harf of jar, inshallah, and then we can towards the end we can introduce our another harf group, which is harf of nasab, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so let's look at some examples quickly. For example, in the screen you can see Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, now here the word bismi, as you already mentioned, means with, and bismi, the mim doesn't have a khasra here, actually bismi. So this makes the word ismi jar. The word Allahi is ism and Allahi is jar also because it's idafa. Okay, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Okay, now let's ask a quick question to, let's see, our brother. Let's see who's in front of me. Okay, let's see. Brother Farhad, okay, you're on the first list. Can you tell me the word Ar-Rahmani? Okay, the word Ar-Rahmani. Okay, actually the spelling is not right here. Okay, so there should be lam here. Okay, can it be a mudaf? Brother Farhad, can you unmute yourself? Okay, Brother Farhad probably not here, not listening. Zaina, can you try that, please? Sister Zaina. So,
what was your question?
Question is this Ar-Rahmani, okay, the third word, can it be a mudaf?
Yes, it can.
No, actually, it cannot.
Or is that supposed to be mudaf ilahi, and then Rahmani is supposed to be mudaf?
Yes, but it cannot be a mudaf because there's a al here. Okay, so that's why it cannot be a mudaf. Yeah, it could be a mudaf. Yeah. Okay, very good. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, on the top one, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, right? So A'udhu is actually failed. So don't worry about the A'udhu now. Billahi. So what is billahi? Let's see who can tell. Brother Hassan, can you tell us? Billahi. B means with. So billahi is?
B means
with or in. Okay, it could be with or in. Okay.
Yeah.
So mostly with. So a'udhu billahi. So what is billahi means?
Billahi. Is the first second one is, do I need to tell the meaning or the mudaf?
No, just the meaning. Billahi. So if B means with, what is billahi means?
With Allah.
With Allah, yes. So a'udhu means I seek refuge, okay, with Allah or in Allah, okay.
Yeah.
Now if you keep going, minash shaitani, okay, what is minash shaitani means? What does min means?
Min means
from. Okay, we just saw the chart, and so that's why you have to memorize the harf of jar, okay, but that's fine. We're just starting that, so inshallah by next week it should be fine. So minash shaitani means, what is minash shaitani means?
From shaitan.
Okay, but you're missing something. It's not still 100%. It's not from shaitan. Minash shaitani. Almost correct, but not 100% correct. What is missing? Look at the word shaitan. Okay, what does the word start with?
Ash-shaitan.
Yeah, minash shaitani. That's ash shaitani. So what is ash shaitani means? Al. There's al there. So what
Yeah,
al
it's
means?
there, yeah.
Al means da, right?
Arda,
So minash shaitani means
from the shaitan.
Yes, not from shaitan. Not if you say from shaitan, it could be any shaitan. So Allah is mentioning from the shaitan, the big one. Okay.
Specific.
Okay, specific one. So minash shaitani. So this is proper here. Okay, minash shaitani. And also, if you look, the min becomes mina here. Again, I say because it is just to sound it good, right? So mina means, so minash shaitani. Okay, and ar-rajimi. Now, here ash-shaitani. Okay, so forget about mina now. Ash-shaitani. Can it be a mudaf for ar-rajimi? What are the two conditions of mudaf? Do you remember? The
mudaf is two conditions. It has to be light, no al.
No al. So is the ash-shaitani is light?
Shaitan is a light, yeah.
Okay. But does it have al?
There is al in there.
So that means it cannot be.
It cannot be mudaf.
Okay, so it could be something else. Okay, and we're going to talk about this something else later. So meaning, so up to here, so the thing that we learned so far, we learned about two fragments. Okay, we said idafa, which we spent at least 2-3 weeks, right? So that is one, and we also talked about harf of jar. So only in auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, we can see billahi is one of our harf of jar with a b, right? And also minash shaitan is also, we have our another harf of jar, which is from the shaitan. Okay, so only in auzu billahi minash shaitan, and there are other fragments here we're going to talk about later. And auzu is I seek refuge. So even in the English meaning, you can say it's a fail. I seek refuge, or I ask Allah's refuge. Okay, so that is a fail. We're going to talk about it later. But billahi and minash shaitani, we can see two harf of jar here. Billahi is one and minash shaitani is one. Okay, let's go to our Surah Fatiha. Okay, here, Alhamdulillah, let's ask someone else now. Let's see. Brother Mahbub, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, brother.
Okay, thank you, brother. Alhamdulillahi. Okay, so Alhamdulillahi. So obviously, Alhamdu, can Alhamdu be our mudaf?
No, it has an al.
So it cannot be mudaf. So it's something else, okay, which we don't know yet. Okay, so it cannot be mudaf. So that's good. Okay, and obviously there's no harf of jar there. Bata, kaf, lam, min, in an, alahat, nothing there. So alhamdu means here just stands to the praise. Okay, the praise. Now the word lillahi, and to all of you, the word lillahi, because the word Allah always written like this. Okay, so the lam is not always visible. You don't see the lam, detached with the word Allah. It comes together. Okay, but this is lam. Okay, so alhamdulillahi. So lillahi means what is lillahi means, Brother Mahbub?
Of Allah.
No, not of Allah. For Allah.
For Allah, sorry. For Allah.
For Allah. Okay, alhamdulillahi. Now rabbil alamina. Okay, rabbil alamina. Okay, so here the rabbi and alamina. Okay, rabbi and alamina. And also before that, actually, the word alhamdulillahi. So the word Allahi. Okay, the word Allahi and rabbi. Okay, the wallahi and rabbi. Can it be mudaf ilay?
Lillahi Rabbi can be mudaf ilayhi, yes, and Rabbi alamin can be mudaf ilayhi as well.
Very good, very good. What is the status of alamina here?
Mudaf ilayhi, then in that case it is jar.
Jarr. Very good, excellent, very good answer. Yes. So yeah, so alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay. Now again we see ar-Rahmani, ar-Rahimi. Ar-Rahmani cannot be mudaf, okay, because there's al here. Okay. Okay, let's go back to ayah number 3. Maliki Yawmiddin. I think we did that already in our example. So there, Maliki is the mudaf, Yawmi is the mudaf ilay, Yawmi again is a mudaf, and Ad-Dini is a mudaf ilay. Okay, mudaf ilay. So Maliki Yawmiddini is also that, like that way. Okay, if we move to our ayah number 6, Ihdinas Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay, thank you, Brother Mahbub. Let's ask our brother Main. Okay, Brother Main, can you try this? As-siratil mustaqima. Okay. My question is, as-sirati, the yellow part. Okay. Can it be a mudaf? As-sirat, as-sirata.
No, because we have a al there. So
Very good. Okay. Very good. And the word sirata, okay, so there's a al, very good answer. So yeah, it is not a mudaf. It cannot be mudaf because there's al here. And why I'm asking about mudaf? Because there's only two fragments we know. Okay, we know idafa, we know harf of jar. Okay, now tell me one more thing in this word as-sirata. What is the status of the word sirata? Is it rafa, nasab, or jar?
Sirata.
What do you have to look when you want to find rafa, nasab, and jar? Is there any una,
Yeah.
ina, nothing in the chart, right? So it's simple.
It should be Nasab and Jarr.
No,
No.
not jar. It should be only nasab, because why you say nasab and jar?
Because Sirata, there is a
Yeah, the a sound. A sound is always nasab. Yes, it could have been nasab and jar if it like from our chart, like
right.
in or una. But this is normal word sirata, and a sound it gives us nasab. Okay, nasab. Okay, okay, okay. Now al mustaqima. Al mustaqima again. Here there's obviously as sirata is cannot be a mudaf, as you said, because of the al. So al mustaqima is not a mudaf ilay in this case, because mudaf ilay must be preceded by followed by preceded by a mudaf, but there's not a mudaf. Okay, but al mustaqima again, here there's a al here, and again al mustaqima. What is the status of al mustaqima again, brother mine? The word al mustaqima.
Should be Zar status.
No, check
No.
again. Read the word al mustaqima. What is the sound like?
Mustaqima.
Ma, yeah. What's the last sound?
So it is Nasab.
Nasab, yes, it is also
Yes.
nasab. It is also nasab. Okay, so why I'm asking this, because you have to be clear on this. Okay, because these things will come handy again. Okay, so for nasab, rafa, nasab, and jar, the common rule is u, a, e. U for rafa, a for nasab, e for jar. Yes, there are some exceptions when it is a word from the chart, like ina or muslimina or mu'minina, like this. Okay, or atun or atin. Those are the chart words. That's why we learn the chart first. Or if the word has a partly flexible, like Ibrahima. Ibrahima could be nasab, could be jar. We don't know that. We have to see the clue. Okay, we have to see the clue. Okay, okay. So thank you, brother Mahin, for that. I'm going to show you why this is one more thing now. Actually, let me just write that. Can I write here? Okay, so can you still see my screen? Okay, screen sharing is off. Okay, bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to share my screen again. Okay, can you all see my screen? Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm just going to write something here. Okay, let's write this. I'll make it bigger for all of you. Just let me just write it first. Okay, I'll make it bigger now so all of you can read. Okay. Okay, so what did I write? Let's ask someone. We talked to everybody here. Brother Saiful, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Is min kablu.
Okay, min kablu. Okay. Does this phrase sound familiar to you? Have you ever came across it in the Quran?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is mean? We learned about mean today. From. Okay.
From.
And also, it's the meaning is from.
Kablu is after.
Before. Kablu is
before.
before.
Sorry. Before.
Before.
Yeah,
Okay.
badal is
Now,
after.
is there something wrong in these two words? Can you see something not right? What is mean? I mean, mean is from. I know.
Should be, because after mean should be jar status.
Yes, very good. So it should
so
be
should be kabli.
Kabli, yeah, but it is not kabli, it is kablu. Okay, and that's how the Quran is like this. Okay, now, so what is kablu? What is the status of kablu?
Kablu status is Rafa.
Rafa. Very good, very good. Okay, what I'm trying to show you here Remember, we said the qablu is a special mudaf, like ba'da, qabla, tahta, okay, all these 15 words that we saw right before, right? And we said most of the time that nasab status because they gives you the details. Sometimes they're jar status if they're followed by the jar, okay? Okay, so in the Quran, there are places where you will see that actually, let's see, it is like this, min qabli. Okay, it is like, and this is normal because min makes the next word jar, which means half of jar. But there are sometimes you will see it is min qablu. Okay, min qablu, like this. Okay, sometimes there's another harf. There's another special mudaf. Actually, it's not a special mudaf. I mean, this is some other thing, but there's another word called haisu. Haisu means, you know, wherever. Okay, wherever is from wherever. So it is not exactly like qablu, but it also is the same thing. Okay, so sometime what I'm trying to say here, although you see a harf of jar, okay, the next word is not a jar status. It's clearly in a rafa status, and it happens mostly with special mudaf. Not all the special mudaf, like qablu is one of them. There are some other word, it happens like this. Why does it like this? These are exceptional case we're talking about here. Okay. Now, one explanation of this is that what is the qablu? We said it before, but what is the nature of qablu? It's a special mudaf, right? Special mudaf. And special mudaf, when you say a mudaf, it must have a mudaf ilay because they come as a pair, isn't it? Isn't that we learn that mudaf and mudaf ilay is always side by side, they come as a pair, okay? Whenever you see in the Quran min qablu, you will notice that that is the end of the ayah, or there is a word after that which is not a mudaf ilay. So meaning when you take the mudaf ilay out from the qablu, qablu has his partner mudaf ilay. It could be something else, okay? Because qablu is a mudaf, he always wants to go travel with his partner mudaf ilay, okay? But when you take the mudaf ilay out from him, he became angry and he said, I'm not going to be jar status. Although I have a harf of jar, I don't care whatever power harf of jar has, I will still be rafa because that's my default status. Because you made me angry, you took my mudafile out from here. Okay, so that is the funny explanation, but that is the reason. So whenever you see a harf of jar, and especially it happens with mean, sometimes it happens with fi also as well. Okay, if you see is mean, and then the next word is not a jar, it's a rafa, it's sitting as a rafa. Don't think, and actually, if you in early stages, in maybe 100 or 200 years ago, there are Orientalists, they're still there. I mean, one of the Orientalists find that this is some mistakes in the grammatical mistakes in Quran, okay? That, the mean is a harf of jar. Those are non-Muslim, okay? They're very well versed in Arabic language, and their job is to find errors in the Quran. And they've been doing it sitting in Oxford and everything. They're trying to do it, all the time, okay? But, they can't find anything. So they said, oh, this is a mistake. Oh, it should be min qabli. Why there's few places min qablu? Okay. No, it is not a mistake. It is when you take the mudafile out and, the qabli is not a mudafile anymore. It's just a word by itself. And it is in an abnormal situation, you can say, because it lost its partner. It is a sad status. So that's why it became rafa. And it has a implication in the meaning as well. If I have wrote like this, min qabli, if I wrote like this, that means from before. Okay, from before. Okay, that's what it means. The means from kablu. Kabli means before. So from before. If I say this min kablu, that means from before, but because it doesn't have a mudaf ilay, it should mean from long, long, long before. That the three long I said, it gives you the emphasis that because it doesn't have a mudaf ilay. Okay, if I would have said, like, for example, min kabli, and then we said, let's see, one second, keyboard is something wrong. Yeah, so let's do this one. Okay, if we say like this, min qabli jumuati. So we say from before Juma, from before Juma. So I'm waiting here, from before Juma. Okay, but when I take this, so and this example, qabli is working as a normal mudaf, special mudaf, and it has a mudaf ilay. Okay, it says a mudaf ilay jumuati. Okay, but if it's not like this, okay, if it just says min qablu in the special cases, when there's no mudaf ilay, at that time the meaning will be the from long before. And now I want you to go and find out some of this example. You will find it in the beginning of Surah Yusuf. A lot of places you will find min qablu. Okay, and this min qablu means when Allah say like this way, Allah is trying to tell us that this is something, a story from a long time before. I'm telling you something that did never happen a long time before. Okay, so just to give you the expression that it's a time which is not recently, it is probably 100, 200,000 years back. Okay, in that time this kind of exception happens. The min qablu should be a jar, but it becomes a rafa. And why it becomes rafa? Because there's no mudaf ilay after qablu. Okay, and because of that it gives you the meaning, it extends the meaning. Okay, it transforms the meaning. Whatever from before means from long before. Okay, from long before, that's what it's saying. Okay, so this is one of the exception that we deal about when you talked about special mudaf. At that time we mentioned this one. Okay, I think someone write in the chat. Okay, Nasab, yeah. Okay,
brother,
yeah.
can I, just to clarify my understanding, so here min is the harf jar, so it should have been in the jar format for qabli, but it's not because of that. If it is in a rafa, that means we need to consider that this is a special case where it is actually meaning something else, or it is extending the meaning, right?
Exactly, 100% you're right. Yes, it should be.
But if it is, even if it is the min is there, but if the mudaf ilahi is there, in that case, definitely it should be in the jar format.
Yes, definitely. Yes, if after qablu is there, if there is a mudaf ilay, which it should be because it's a special mudaf, it's always followed by a mudaf ilay, and then it's a normal meaning. Then the meaning is normal. Everything is okay. Nothing.
So is it for only for this qablu, or there are multiple like that?
There's another word. There's another word. I think haisu. Okay, but that's not in our special mudaf because that's not like a normal special mudaf. It doesn't work like that. But sometimes there are other words. You will find the mean. Okay, and it's not in nasab status. It's not in nasab status. For example, I can show you in the Quran. Let's me just go back to the Quran. Let's see. Let me see the other example. Which surah it is? As far as I remember at the stage, I think there's one here. Yeah. This is Surah Talaq. Let's see. Yeah, ayah number 3. Look at this two. See, min haisu. Haisu means
we can't see the screen.
Oh, okay, you can see the screen. Sorry. Okay, let's share this. Can you see now? Okay, good.
Yes, you can see it now.
So now look at it. I highlighted these two letters. So min haisu. Min haisu means wherever. Okay, this is also kind of a special mudaf. Okay, but haisu has some other implication. Okay, so that's why it's not included in that 15 words. It's not a special mudaf, but this is a word, and that is ism. Okay, so min haisu, it should be min haisi, because min is a harf of jar. Okay, but here is the min haisu, and min haisu means from wherever. Okay, and Allah is saying from wherever you can't even think of. So Allah is in the context of the eyes, Allah will bring your rizq from anywhere you can't even think. So, wa yarzuquhu min haythu la yahtasibu. Okay, la yahtasibu means, one cannot imagine, okay, where the rizq is coming from. So wherever the rizq is from, wherever, okay. So it's like, it's also extending the meaning. It's something that you can't even imagine, okay. So just like min qablu is a time frame, you can't imagine how long. So here also Allah saying is, you don't know where it's from. And min qablu, I think min qablu is, there's a lot of places min qablu. I think what I remember is from, let's look at, I think in Surah
mainly
so
that
brother,
when
haisu is also a
in
jari status.
Sorry?
yes, this is Jarr.
Haisu
No,
is
it's
also Jar
Hi-
status.
Haisu is Rafa. Haisu is Rafa, na?
Haisu
Sorry,
is Rafa.
Rafa status here.
Yes, yes. So that's the exception. It should be jar status, it is not. Okay, so mean couldn't make it jar, okay, because of that issue. This is Surah Yusuf. If you can look here, like this is a normal one. See here, if you look at this, min qablihi, right?
Qablihi. Yes, this
Okay.
one is working fine. Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is normal. Okay, min qablihi. Okay, but there's a other place actually in the same surah. I think I'll look at that. So here, let's see. I don't ask too many questions to Brother Shiraz and Brother Qazi because I know they have done this before. So I'm asking Brother Sarwar, our long distance Brother Sarwar. Brother Sarwar, can you answer this question? See here, the highlighted thing, min qablihi, okay? This is min is from. Qabl means before, okay? So what is min qablihi means?
From means mean, and qabli is before.
But we have qablihi, okay?
Qabli he.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is in jar status.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
So,
But how many words in qablihi? 2 words, right?
words, yeah, qabli he. Yeah.
Okay, so what is qablihi means? We know min means from. What is qablihi means?
Is it
It's,
because of long
it's-
time ago?
No, no.
No.
He's a pronoun here.
He is a pronoun here, yeah, attached pronoun. So qabli and attached pronoun.
Yes,
so what is the
yes,
meaning?
yes.
What is the qablihi meaning? That's my question.
Is he would be for
No. Before
Before him or
yes,
he,
very good. Before him. That's it.
before
Mean-
him, yeah.
So from before him. From
Yes.
before him. Okay. From before him. So yeah, sometime he, okay, the he means the pronoun he, okay. So it is his, if we say, kitab buhu, okay, so buhu or ilaihi or something like he, it could be his, it could be him. So here before, we can't say before he because it's not an independent pronoun. We can either say before his or before him, but it is before him. So before him. So from before him. Okay. So qablihi is from before him. I think in the same surah, if we go down.
This is the mudaf ilahi concept, right?
Yes, yes. So we have in min qablihi, we have 2 fragments. Okay. In fact, we have 3 fragments. Okay. No, 2 fragments. Okay. Min is harf of jar. Okay. So fragment number 2.
Mean to qabli is a harf jar, and the qabli he is a mudaf.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes, you're right. Very good. Okay. So let's look at this. I think this one. I'm looking for a min qablu. Yes, I got it here. I remember it was here. So this one. So if we read this one, wa alayhi yaquba kama atammaha ala abwaika min qablu Ibrahim. Because Allah is talking to Ibrahim. Okay, Allah is talking about Ibrahim min qablu Ibrahim. Okay, and actually here you can see that here the min qablu, although qablu may have a mudaf ilay, but Allah still kept it as a rafa min qablu. Okay, because to give you the extensive meaning, long before Ibrahim. Okay, from long before Ibrahim. Okay. Yeah, so Brother Shiraj is saying Surah Ayat Juma also. Okay, let's look at Brother Shiraj is saying Juma, Surah Juma, 62.
62.
And Ayat 2. Yeah. وَالَّذِي بَعَثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ. Okay, see here, there's another minhum. Okay, meaning from them. Okay, يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ. Very good example. See? Okay, so let's ask some of our brothers. Okay, who can answer this? Brother Mahbub, you want to try this? So here, obviously, min qablu, we already did that, so we know that, okay? La fi dalalim mubin. La fi dalalim mubin.
La fi dalalin, that's the mudaf ilay. Dalalin cannot be mudaf because of the tanween.
No. Wait, what is mudaf ilay again? Say what is mudaf ilay?
Qablu lafi.
No.
No, sorry. Yeah. Min qablu is the harf of Jarr.
Yeah, and why it's not, because the next word after kablu is la. La fi is not a single word. La is a harf, fi is also a harf. So la is harf cannot be jar or nasab. So kablu cannot make anything jar here. Not la, not fi. So kablu has no mudaf midaf ilay. That's why it is kablu. It's upset, okay? It's angry. So that's why it's kablu, okay? So as we said, the min kablu is, it should be min kabli here, but normally, but it is min kablu here, okay? Because no mudaf ilay. So this is not a mudaf ilay. We are talking from here. So from lafi dolalim mubin. Yeah. So Brother Mahabub, can you say what is lafi dolalim mubin?
Dalalin cannot be mudaf ilai because of the mudaf. So dalalin mubin is not mudaf ilai, but lafi dalalin I'm not quite sure.
What is fi? What is fi means? We just talked about fi today. Fi means in.
Yes.
Okay, so
it's yes, it's a harf of jar.
Yes.
And then dalalin is jar because of the
harf of jar. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So yeah. So here, and what is la here? Is it la for four, or is it the different la?
Is it not? Isn't it?
It's not. Yeah, because if it is for la means four, then the next word should have been an ism, like la dalalin, or it could have been something else. But it's la fi. So this is the la of emphasis. Okay. So la fi dalalin mubin means certainly in clear misguidance. Certainly in clear misguidance. Okay. So dalalin, and you said dalalin cannot be mudaf. Okay. Very good answer. Why cannot dalalin be mudaf?
It has a tanween. The second condition is the not having any. It has to be light, but it has a tanween, so it's heavy.
Very good answer. Yes, it has dalalin cannot be a mudaf because it is heavy with the tanween at the end. Very good, brother. Thank you. Yeah. So here, la here is not the la for harf of jar. This is the la fi khusrin. As you show in Surah Al-Asr also, la fi khusrin. So la fi dalalin mubin is la of emphasis. Okay, la of emphasis. Okay, very good. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to our slides, and just I'm going to finish it for today, inshallah, because we over 15 minutes already. Let's go back. I think I have to stop sharing this, and then. So I'm just going to introduce our third fragment today, and then inshallah we'll come back to it later. Let's see. Okay, so we did this example. So this is our third fragment, Harf of Nasab. Okay, Harf of Nasab are these 8 words. So obviously by the name you can understand. Harf of Jar makes the next word Jar. Harf of Nasab makes the next word, or the word doesn't necessarily has to be the next. It could be a few words later. It makes the word Nasab. Okay, and these are the 8 words with the meaning. Inna means certainly. Anna means that. Okay, Anna means that. Now this that, here the that, T-H-A-T, it doesn't mean a pointing. It says that is a car. It's not that. This means I see that you are coming. That is the that. Okay, when you say, so there's 2 use of that in English. Okay, one, that is something that you're pointing far away, right? Oh, that is our masjid. Oh, that is the traffic light. Okay, so you're pointing something. And there's another that I see that you're very righteous. Okay, I see I can feel that you're sad today. Okay, so that like so it's not a pointing that, it's the other that. So that's Anna. Okay, so Inna means certainly, Anna means that, Ka Anna means as though, Laita is if only, Lakinna is however, La Allah is so that, hopefully, maybe it could be any of these 3. Okay, Bi Anna and Li Anna means because. So there are 8 of these words. We had 11 for Harf of Jar and 8 for Harf of Nasab. Okay, Harf of Nasab and their victims do not have to be right next to each other. So that is the difference. Harf of Jar, usually the word is next to each other. So it makes the jar the next word, right after the next word, okay? In 99.99% time. There are some exceptions we'll come back to later, okay? Harf of Nasab is not like that. It could be, the word could be next to it, no problem, that is also allowed. Or the word could be some afterwards later. So you can find the inna, and then you can see some other words, and then you find the word with nasab. So these words, these 8 harf, okay, inna, anna, ka, anna, laita, lakinna, la'alla, bi, anna, li, anna, their job is to make the next word or the word that comes after a bit later, make it nasab, okay? That's why they are called harf of nasab, okay? Just like that, we said harf of jar, these are harf of nasab, okay? Let's look at quick some example, and then inshallah we'll come back to harf of nasab next week, okay? And we'll find, like from the Quran, we'll find some examples, okay? Like for example, inna, as you can see in the extra, and na. Na means, na comes from nahnu, okay? Na comes from nafri. If you say this together, inna na, that is also allowed. You can also say inna, okay? But the 2 noon get together, okay, and become 1 noon. So inna means, you know, certainly, we, okay? Okay. Then we can see innal hisaba. Okay, innal hisaba. Certainly the hisab, meaning the accountings. Okay, the hisab. And here you say, you cannot say innal hisabu. You cannot say innal hisabi. It has to be nasab because inna is a harf of nasab. Clear, everyone? Now, you know, when you're learning these fragments, harf of jar, harf of nasab, now you will understand why a word is a jar, why a word is a nasab, because someone has made them a nasab. There's a reason for it to be a jar. So there are 2 reasons for it to be jar. So far we learned. One, if it's a mudaf ilayhi, it has to be jar. We learned that, right? One, we learned that, you know, if there is a harf of jar, either a min or a fi or a ala or ila or a hatta or an, you know, bata, okay, ka, then it makes a jar. For nasab, we learn one reason so far, that if one of these 8 words is there, and you can find the next word or the word some after the words, okay, then also it is the reason that it became nasab. So innal hisaba means certainly the hisab, okay. Let's look at la'allahum or la'allakum, you know, la'allakum or la'allahum. La'alla means so that, hopefully, maybe. Now here, the whom is an attached pronoun. And if you go back to our pronoun chart, we said there that attached pronoun could be nasab, could be jar. Okay, so if I would have said, like for example, if I say fihum, in them, in that case the whom is what, nasab or jar? Who can tell me? If I say fihum, what is fihum?
Jar.
Jar, because it's fi, because it's followed, you know, it's followed by fi. Fi is a harf of jar. But if I say la'allahum, then it is nasab here. Okay, it is nasab here. Okay, okay, and the meaning will be so that, hopefully, maybe they are, or something like that. Okay, so that, you know, any of these 2, you can say so that they are, or, you know, hopefully they are. Okay, okay, like Allah said, la'allakum tattakun, right? So that you all be, you know, reminded, we have taqwa. Okay, so that all of you have taqwa, tattakun. Okay, so la'allahum, so la'alla is one of the example also. Let's look at this one. Anna lahum ajran. Anna lahum ajran. Now, this is an interesting one. Okay, now look at this. The word anna means that, and this is a harf of nasab. And what is the job of harf of nasab? To make the next word a nasab. But the next word is lahum. Lahum, la is not a ism, la is a harf. Okay, and la means for here, because it is for, lahum means for all of them, which la could be la or li, right? So lahum means for them. So this whole thing in the middle, lahum, is not affected by anna yet, but ajran is a nasab, and that is affected by the harf of nasab. So this example is showing you that the word that became nasab because of the power of harf of nasab, it doesn't have to be next to it. Okay, so it could be a bit far away. That's fine, no problem. Okay, but that's right. So if you read this like anna lahum ajran, okay, so for example, in a question, in an exam, I will give you this ayah, right, a part of this ayah, anna lahum ajran. I say, why the word ajran is a nasab here? Is it a right thing? Then you should say it is nasab, brother, because anna makes it nasab. Okay, anna is a harf of nasab. Then I'll ask, okay, then it has to be beside anna. You said, no, brother, it doesn't have to be beside anna, because harf of nasab doesn't have to be side by side. If it is harf of jar, then it could be side by side. But harf of nasab, not that. Okay. So anna lahum ajra, meaning that the ajr, meaning that the reward is for them, is for all of them. Okay, reward is for all of them. Okay, that the reward is for all of them. Anna lahum ajran. Okay, everybody clear on that? Okay. The last example for today, lakinna aksaran nasi. Okay, I want one brother to say this. Okay, let's ask our expert brother Kazi. Brother Kazi, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, brother Kazi. Okay. Can you tell us lakinna aksara nasi? What do you see here? So what is lakinna and aksara? Aksara means many, if you forget the meaning. Aksara means many.
Yeah, from Kasim Akbar.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Lakina means however.
Mm-hmm.
So the effect of Lakina is Aksara.
Yes, so it made it Nasab.
And Nasab, yes.
Okay, and what is yeah?
Aksara Nasi is it looks like Mudaf Mudafilay.
Very good. Does it fulfill all condition of mudaf mudafile? Can you remind us about the 3 condition of idafa?
Idafa is it doesn't have al.
Okay, so aksara doesn't have al, we can see that, yes. And
It doesn't have it's light.
Light also, yes, very good. And an-nasi?
And Nasi is a Jarr.
Yes, but an-nasi has a alif lam. Is it a problem?
No, no problem. Alif lam is the problem with Mudaf.
Very good.
Mudaf doesn't have light.
Very good. Thank you, Brother Kazi. Excellent, excellent explanation. Thank you. Did our other brothers understand? Brother Hassan, you understand? Brother Mahbub, Main, Brother Main, all good?
Yes.
Everybody understand? So here the lakinna is one of the word of this 8, so which is harf of nasab, okay? Meanings however, as Brother Kazi said, okay? And the word next to it actually got nasified, like it became nasab, okay? So lakinna aksara, okay? So you can't say aksari or aksaru because lakinna has made it nasab, okay? So lakinna aksara means however, most of the people. And aksara means most or many of the people, okay? Most is the right way actually. Most of the people. Why did I get off? Because aksara and nasi is a mudaf mudafile, as Brother Kazi explained, okay? So in this 3 words, we see 2 fragments. One is harf of nasab, lakinna and aksara and nasi is a idafa, mudaf and mudafile. Everybody clear? Okay.
Brother, can I ask a question here?
Sure,
Can this be lakinna aksaru annasa?
No, it cannot be.
Cannot be. Can't it be the third word is influenced by?
So
the second one becomes rafa, and the third becomes nasab.
Yeah. If you say that way, okay, then it doesn't make sense. Why it doesn't make sense? Okay, so what brother is asking, just to clear, let me correct if I'm wrong. So brother is saying, can you not say like this? Because lakinna doesn't have to make the next word nasab. Why it's not like this? Lakinna aksaru annasa. So lakinna can make annasa a nasab because nasab, the harf of nasab effect can not be, has to be next word. It could be like the word after that. And aksaru could be just aksaru. Because so why is not that? If that is the case, brother, then the annasu,
Meaning will change.
The meaning change, not only meaning change, actually it doesn't make sense because annasa cannot be a mudafile anymore. It has to be
Yes, that's the
mudafile.
problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? So aksaran nasa, if I say aksaru annasa, is it a mudaf mudafile? No, because to be a mudaf mudafile, annasi has to be annasi. Is it right? Is it clear, Brother Saiful?
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Okay, so even if we say that way, and even if all the meaning is fine, just hypothetically, okay, but we can't have a thing like that, okay? So then what is the meaning of aksaru and annasa? Grammatically, a nasab cannot be there, and it's a good thing that you pointed out. By default, an ism status is rafa. By default, okay. And when it became a nasab or a jar, there must be reason for that. You can't just become a nasab and jar, okay? Any ism that you find, whether it's a nasab status or a jar status, you must see what is the reason it's become nasab, because a default status is rafa. So when it's rafa, yeah, there could be a reason for a rafa, that's fine. Or without reason, they are by default they use as a rafa, okay? But when this nasab and jar, there must be a reason for that, okay? And here the aksara is nasab, the reason is lakinna. Annasi is annasi because it's a mudafili. Okay, and that's how we learn it. Okay, so inshallah, I think we crossed, oh wow, long half an hour. Sorry about the long time. So yeah, so inshallah with this we finish. I'll close the recording.